you're contradicting yourself, and it's hypocritical. Okay? And unfortunately, our society is just littered with hypocrisy. Like, for example, everybody want to sit there and try to say marijuana is illegal and all this other mess, and yet you're selling cigarettes, which is killing many people. That is ridiculous. Many people are getting lung cancer and stuff. And yet you want to ban marijuana, and I heard marijuana was healthier. I don't know. But all I know is that this country alone, or this continent really, the North America, it's not really a country, it's a continent. They were so quick to say, oh, no, marijuana is horrible, and yet, you're selling cigarettes, which is, actually killing many people, or selling alcohol, which is killing many people, and many people have died due to alcoholic-related deaths and stuff like that. So, to me, it just doesn't make any sense, You can't tell somebody not to do something when everybody else is doing it. I'm not saying they should do it just because everybody else is doing it. I'm just saying it's just not in your place to tell somebody that they can't do it when everybody else is doing it. So society needs to sometimes really need to lay off on the contradictions. Because you can't just sit there and tell your child not to smoke cigarettes, and yet you're sitting there just blowing away, just going through like 2 packs of cigarettes. That doesn't make any sense to me. Alright. Number 9, the 9th unpopular opinion. I know I'm gonna get hate for this, and look, I'm just gonna tell you right now, I am not a racist, but white people created racism. And some white people want to can sit there all they want and say that's not true, and say that, I'm being racist and stuff, but let's be honest. Many years ago, before genocides and colonization, when everybody was in their own continent, when black people were just in Africa, and the Indians and stuff were in South America and North America, and white people were in Europe, and Asians were in Asia, and the Aborigines were in Australia, and etc. People did not, consider themselves whatever they were based on their color. They considered themselves whatever they were based on their language, or their culture, or their religion. Nobody went by color. It wasn't even until white people decided to come and take over, all these other continents and stuff, and take away, Africans and call them blacks and stuff, because, and try to label people based on their skin color, I just think it's funny how white people nowadays, they want to be like, color doesn't matter, but, that's just crap, because it does matter, unfortunately. And it shouldn't matter considering how it's now 2011. But unfortunately, people need to stop acting like racism is just gonna die out, because that's just not how it's gonna be. You can't just kill racism. It's probably never gonna go away, but still, it just doesn't go away after what, because everybody could now so-called get along. No, it's not that we could get. It's not like we could get along. It's just, we just could tolerate each other. You don't have to like this person. You could just tolerate them. It's kind of like living with, like a neighbor. It's kind of like having your own neighbor, like living in your own house and stuff. You don't necessarily like them, but you have to tolerate them. That's pretty much how the United States is. We don't really necessarily like each other in general, but we have to tolerate each other. But really, all I'm just saying is that many years ago, people did not consider themselves based on what skin color they were. They considered themselves based on whatever religion or culture or whatever language or whatever region they were living at, not by their color. And white people were the ones who came up with that crap. I don't care what anybody says. And my last one is You know, I'm gonna say it. We as black people have a weird asphyxiation with beating our children. I know that's going to hurt some people, and I know it's probably going to make some people mad. I don't know. Some people do take it offensively, but personally, we as black people have a weird asphyxiation of beating our children, and to me, it does not make any sense. You know, I just think it's just so ridiculous when you have like a parent saying how they beat Taekwon's behind with a belt like 50 times, and then all of a sudden back them in the corner. I mean, you know, I just don't think that's funny. I find that to be really sad, and it saddens me to the point that I feel like maybe I should call defects on these people. You know, I don't believe in beating children. Okay, maybe a spanking, you know, it's okay if you want to spank your child, but people seem to like get spanking and beatings like confused with each other. Spanking is when you tell your child to put their hand out and you hit them in the hand. That's a spanking. No, and that's, you know, a beating is when you snatch your child up and you beat them with a belt, and then you punch them in the face, and then you throw them against the wall. That's not even really beating. That's just child abuse right there. And I just think it's ridiculous how we still have these people who are doing this to their children. I don't think we should do that to children. You know, spankings are okay, but beating your child like that, that's ridiculous. And I don't approve of beating a child with a belt or really with anything. I think you should just hit your child with your hand. You know, just give them a spank on the hand and it'll be alright. I don't think beating your child is going to make it any better. Because one, they're going to resent you. It's going to mentally scar them. And they're probably like, you know, and then it's a child abuse. And then, you know, it's not always effective because eventually they're going to be immune to it. Some kids may be immune to it, and others may be mentally scarred. You know, I don't know. Well, all I'm saying is, if I ever have children, I would never do that, because I just don't think it's effective. So anyway, that's pretty much all I have to state. I hope you enjoyed this video. Peace.